Hi, this is K2X. I've mentioned from the time to time that my view of life was changed. And today I'd like to talk about that. This kind of thing has actually happened many times before. When I talk about it with my family, they usually say something like, "So you are only realizing that now?" So please listen with the understanding that this is simply the level K2X is at right now. For me, every time it feels quite revolutionary. I think, I've figured something out, and I feel happy and excited about it. I talk about it with my family, but they say that's obvious. Or we figured that out a long time ago. I've heard that again and again. But that's okay. Everyone moves forward at their own K2X pace, at their own K2X level. If I truly feel, yes, this feels right, and if it feels like a new idea to me, then that's perfectly fine. Now, I'm not sure how well I can explain this, but what I've been thinking lately connects to what I talked about earlier regarding new capitalism. That idea about money, monetary capital, and another kind of capital that can't be seen, invisible capital. I've come to feel very strongly that this invisible capital is important. In other words, it's not all about money. To put it another way, this connects to something I used to talk about a lot. Why do we live? Do we live for ourselves selfishly? Or do we live for others altruistically? If I jump straight to the conclusion, right now I feel that I've fully reached the side of living for others. Not long ago, I was firmly on the side of living for myself. Before that, from around 1987 or 1988, all the way until about 2021, for more than 30 years, I thought it's a living for others. But looking back now, that earlier living for others was actually different from what I mean today. Back then, it was more like this. If you serve others, you'll eventually be rewarded. You'll earn money. Your sales will increase. You'll succeed in your career. Whether I said it out loud or not, that kind of thing was always there. But when that didn't quite break through, I began to feel that even altruism was still centered on myself. So from around 2021 first, for about 5 years, I shifted to living clearly for myself, my own satisfaction, my own fulfillment. Music, for example, may have been one tool for that, but the focus was very much on me. And through that, I was actually able to reach a deeper sense of satisfaction. Now, once again, I found myself returning to the idea of living for others. But this time it's different. It's no longer about helping others, because it will bring money in return. It's not about sales or rewards. I can say things like this now, partly because of my age. For people in their 30s, raising a family or supporting children, I couldn't responsibility recommended this way too of thinking. They need to earn money, to work hard, through difficult times. But for me, I don't feel I have much left to lose. So instead of seeking returns, I want to focus on being useful to others and finding joy in that. Of course, this doesn't mean doing anything grand. It might be something very small, carrying someone's luggage up the stairs or holding a door open for someone whose hands are full. That's all. If I could see the relieved smile of someone who was helped, that would be enough. I'm not asking for tips. I'm not saying, I carried your bag, so please pay me. It's simply about that moment of relief. And there and here, relationships naturally come into play. Human relationships. People can live alone. There are families, friends, colleagues, people in the local community. It's not about how many people, but about living while being connected to someone. Staying home alone without meeting anyone would eventually feel lonely. I might stay at home, talk like this as K2X, and I don't regret doing that at all. But by sharing this on YouTube, if it helps or even one person with their own worrying, that would be meaningful. Right now, I don't think I'm helping very much. But if I keep doing this for another 15 or 16 years and reach 10,000 episodes, then maybe among all those talks, one or two might support someone or help them feel less alone. That's why I speak, one story at a time. That's the kind of thing I'd like to do. I don't know if I explained this well or if it came across clearly, but from here on, this is the way I'd like to live my life. For now, I'm still working in my main job. It's a regular company, so of course sales and profits matter. But for me personally, what I really want is to find joy in being useful to customers and business partners. Results like sales and profits are necessary for a company, of course, and I'll continue to do my job properly. But someday, 5 or 10 years from now, I don't know, when I truly retire, whether I work, volunteer, or engage in social activities, I don't think I'll just stay at home doing nothing. I'll probably keep connecting with people in some form until the end of my life. And I'd like to do that based on the way of thinking I talked about today. If I ask myself what really changed in my view of life, it's this. I may have known these ideas intellectually before. I may have learned about them in words, but I didn't truly understand from the bottom of my heart that this was what mattered most. I spent so much of life desperately trying to earn money, to be recognized at work, to increase sales. That was understandable, and in many ways it was the right thing to do, but it was painful. And honestly, life didn't go very well that way. As K2X, that approach just doesn't suit me very well. On the other hand, living without seeking returns, using what I can do, and giving my full effort to support others in whatever way I can, that feels like a strength of mine. It's not about being evaluated or increasing sales. Doing what I can within my limits feel enough. If that's the case, there's less unnecessary worrying. I may still worry about how to help someone who's struggling, but I don't need to worry about how I'm being judged or evaluated. Things feel lighter, clearer. That's how it feels. Today I turned into a rather long talk, and it may not have been very well organized, but I want to share what I'm honestly feeling right now. Once I've sorted my thought of a bit more, I'd like to talk about this again. For now, this was simply my sincere state of mind. Thank you very much. Alright then. See you again. それではまた。